Welcome back on the channel, guys. A very interesting video where we'll be testing web app or browser benchmarks, things like Speedometer, like the Jetstream 2, the MotionMark 1.3, Basemark Web 3, or Kraken 1.1 and RS6. But first, what do I have on the table? On the left, the latest Google Pixel 10 Pro running with the Tensor G5 built on a 3nm processor. In the middle, the latest edition from Xiaomi 17 Pro, running the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, again built on a 3nm processor. And here on the right, the S25 Ultra running the Snapdragon 8 Elite. All three chips are built on the TSMC 3nm processor, but the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 in the middle is using the N3P variant, which is an optimized version over the N3E that is used by the 8 Elite. This year it's a bit different for Google because the Tensor G5 is also built using a 3nm node from TSMC, which means they're no longer using Samsung Foundry, which was the case last year, which hopefully should bring significant efficiency gains. Now, what about the CPU performance, guys? The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is expected to be the leader in raw CPU performance testing because there's the third gen Orion cores, and this thing here is the second gen. The Tensor G5 is a whole other story. It's a Google created custom chip, and according to Google, this should be optimized for AI workloads. So it's using TSMC, it's 3nm node. The G5 is really expected to be a bit better, improve on CPU efficiency, also raw performance, and potentially closing the gap with the Snapdragon, specifically in multi-core tasks, but the benchmarks aren't that good. Snapdragon 8 Elite here, very capable chip, still very powerful, but it's gonna be surpassed by the 8 Elite Gen 5. Now, what about the GPU? The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is using the latest Adreno 840. So this is an upgrade compared to the previous Adreno 830 in the Snapdragon 8 Elite, and hopefully it's gonna give us better mobile graphics, better performance in gaming, and also of course efficiency. And of course we all need to confirm that. And Tensor G5 is a whole other story, guys, as in the past Google used typically ARM's Immortalis GPUs, but the Tensor G5 is now using PowerVD series. So according to Google, that's a newer, it's a more powerful version that hopefully is going to bring us significant updates over the previous Tensor chips. But we know the story, Tensor chips are not so good for mobile gaming. And last but not least, guys, what about AI? Because 2025 is all about AI, and hate it as much as you want, but this is it. The Tensor G5 is really built for AI. So they have something called the TPU, which is a tensor processing unit, and this really is expected to be very powerful combined with Google's advanced AI features, and specifically when you engage with on-device multimodal AI. So large language model processing and stuff like that, this should really work flawless. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 in the middle is using the latest Qualcomm's Hexagon NPU. This is supposed to be also very powerful and optimized for agentic AI. So the whole idea about this is to be able to efficiently execute large AI models on device. All right, this is very important, guys. We should be able to do a lot of these things on device. Reality can be a bit different sometimes and may require you to be connected to the internet. Let's see. Snapdragon 8 Elite, still very powerful. Of course, there are various other upgrades like in the modern field and also in the ISP, which is the image signal processor. But the expectation is that the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is going to be like the all-around performance king. It should excel GPU and CPU and generally also in AI tasks. The Tensor G5 is expected to be powerful enough to do standard jobs and also powerful enough to do AI-focused activities, but we all know that it kind of lags behind, and the Snapdragon 8 Elite is probably still one of the best chips that you can get on the market right now. And guys, in this test, I'm going to be doing something different. As I said in the beginning, I'm going to be testing some browser benchmarks. So for that, I'm going to be using Chrome. And the first thing I want to share is that I'm using the exact Chrome version everywhere. All right, so I'm going to close this thing here. I'm going to click on App Info here. All right, App Info here and App Info here. So the version is 140, and you can see it ends with 70. It is the same version everywhere, and that's important. I've also loaded some of the benchmarks that I want to test with you because there was also a request from some of you to start with the first one. That is the famous Speedometer 3.1. This is the latest version by the WebKit team, and this is going to measure up responsiveness. Alright, the S25 Ultra is done with 35.6, 27.3 for the Xiaomi 17 Pro, and only 19.4 for the Pixel 10 Pro. In general, here a higher score is better because this indicates faster web application responsiveness. But what I'm puzzled with is the fact that I did all these tests in the morning and I got something like 40 here. So I probably need to retest this, but it's going to be probably at the end of the video. And now guys, we are going to continue with the second test. Okay, the second test is going to be very interesting, as this is MotionMark 1.3. I'm going to put it up on all three phones. This is going to test the graphics and the rendering performance using CSS, Canvas and SVG. This test requires the phones to be rotated, so I just did that, and I'm gonna start the test. So Snapdragon 8 Elite, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 and Tensor G5. Let's see. The S25 Ultra is ready and I'm waiting to obtain the results from the two other devices. How does it work here, guys? Higher score means better graphic performance, because MotionMark measures the browser's ability to handle and work with complex animations and with visual effects. So if you get a higher score, this means that your browser can render the scenes more efficiently at a targeted frame rate. And this is where things get strange, because this thing here is the main result from MotionMark. So we have 2095 versus 6 versus 1.1. The FPS that is shown below is just a reference to one of the subsets, but they should not determine which result is better. So apparently the Pixel was able to score better. Alright, let's take this as a win for the Pixel. You let me know down below in the comments what you think. And now we are continuing with Jetstream 2. This focuses on JS, JavaScript and WebAssembly performance, and it should be a bit more synthetic than Speedometer. So I'm gonna start a test and let's just see if we are gonna get a first win for the Xiaomi 17 Pro. Oh, 262. So again, the S25 Ultra outperformed the Xiaomi 17 Pro, and it's now time to see if the Pixel can surprise us and win another round. And finally, the Pixel is done with the test, only scoring 196, which, yeah, kind of was expected. My only surprise at the moment is the fact that the S25 Ultra is killing it, but I'm going to rerun the test with the performance profile, because right now this is using the balance profile, and maybe Xiaomi decided to kind of hold on a bit to that power. The next test is going to be the Basemark Web 3.0. That's a comprehensive browser benchmark. It's going to test graphics, it's going to test JavaScript, DOM layout, everything, guys. So without any further ado, let's start the test and let's see which phone is gonna shine. And the S25 Ultra surprises me again with a score of 1415, and it's bigger than the one on the Xiaomi, only 1247, so it is close. Alright, but I will rerun this with using the performance profile. Let's see, maybe this is gonna change something. And last but not least, the Pixel, that is not that bad, running at 1066. This is the Kraken 1.1, it's Mozilla's benchmark for heavy JavaScript computation. I need to zoom this up to be able to start the test in the same time, so let's start with the Pixel, and then with the Xiaomi, and then with the S25 Ultra. Oh, the S25 Ultra first, I think so, then the Pixel was ready. So total here is 359 milliseconds versus 518, and actually, yes, the Pixel here was at the second place. Not that bad, guys, but we have one more to do, and this is gonna be RS6. This is gonna measure JavaScript agent latency and optimization. So I'm gonna start this test, let's see what we're gonna get. Oh, 6.53 milliseconds. This is already done here. 9.14, guys. And I think the Pixel is gonna be at the end with 12.60. So now I will remove the Pixel out of the equation, because we know that those are the more powerful phones, although the Pixel actually won some of the rounds, which is just astonishing. And what I'm gonna do right now, guys, I'm gonna go inside the battery profile and I'm gonna choose the performance mode, okay? So now, guys, what I would like to do, I would like to rerun this test again. Let me try to also close the browser page. All right. And what I want to do is, I also want to close all the tabs, okay? So let me just close all the tabs here, closing all the tabs here as well. And now I'm only loading Speedometer, so I don't have anything else. Let's try to see how much we're gonna get right now. Oh, 42.8. Okay, this is also what I was getting in the morning. Let's try to see. Yeah, 35.2 for the S25 Ultra. Now let's try to do the same with Jetstream. I've closed all the other tabs. We do have only Jetstream. I'm gonna start another round of testing here. 376 versus 323. So yes, again, a better result for the Xiaomi 17 Pro. And now let's start MotionMark. All right. And the S25 Ultra is ready, guys. 1617. So it's still more than the 1285 on the Xiaomi 17 Pro. So this is it. Take it or leave it, guys. But first things first, if you want to get the best out of the little Xiaomi 17 Pro with a only 6.3 inches screen, you probably need to use it on performance mode. By the way, don't think that this type of test will really heat up the phones. They won't. Right now, guys, 36.6 for the S25 Ultra and 37.6 for the Xiaomi 17 Pro. So for sure this thing is running hotter than the Snapdragon 8 Lite inside the S25 Ultra, but don't forget to check soon here on the channel because the Xiaomi 17 Pro is gonna land soon and I'm gonna be repeating all of this. And I really hope, guys, that this type of videos make sense for you. Thanks so much for watching. If that's the case and if you like them, you're more than welcome to check some of my previous videos. Stay safe, VST over, and bye.